What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I was just scrolling through some older videos earlier today because I was trying to see if I could get a baseline for where we were at even just a month ago. And I found something, right? So on April 22nd, literally the first day, I think, of the pre-sale, I recorded a video and posted it that day that showed just how much DEC the Dow had, which is about 1.9 billion, just slightly under that. So you can see today that the Dow is currently sitting on over 3 billion. So just to simplify it, we've added 1.1 billion DEC to the Dow. Now, what's interesting is that over the course of the past however many weeks, we've burned a ton of SPS, which I'll do a separate video on once we get close. But we're not quite at 100 million yet. We're over 90 million, so that's good. But you can see here that from that, we have minted about over the past 2 months, we've minted about 960 million DEC. So keep in mind, that's a lot, right? But it's not as much as the Dow has taken in. The Dow has taken in 1.1 billion, over 1.1 billion, and we're sitting on, we'll say 960 million, right? So at this point, we're looking at anywhere from like 150 to 200 million extra that the Dow has taken in, which makes sense, right? Because it had to soak up all of that extra liquidity off of the ecosystem. So in trying to get like a more bird's eye view, holistic view, whatever you want to call it, of like where DEC is at, because I'll be honest, the pessimistic kind of realistic part of me is waiting for DEC to depeg again, just because we burned a lot of SPS for DEC, we minted a lot of DEC, but the way that I'm looking at it now, I think the team is actually doing a good job holding on to its DEC, and we're going to get to that in a second. But not only did Conclave Arcana come in and soak up all the extra DEC that was out there, but it also obviously caused us to burn almost 100 million SPS in order to facilitate even more purchases. So as we move forward from here, right, like I said, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I hope that I end up being wrong in my kind of negative thinking here. I hope that we're able to maintain peg, and when I say maintain peg, as long as like we're above like 900 Splintoshis, I'm happy, right? The moment we go below 900 Splintoshis, that's when I'm like, okay, like, you know, the economy's starting to feel the drag of all that DEC that's out there again. But if we stay above it, then there's always going to be that like, especially right now, there's always going to be that demand that comes in and says like, oh, packs are cheap, they're like 10% off or 9% off, right? So let me go in and grab some DEC, or let me go and buy some starter packs, whatever it is, right? People are still in that mode right now, and I think that they will be in that mode for the next, we'll call it month or so. I give it till the end of June, because I remember that same kind of sentiment kind of lasting around the same amount of time, maybe even for 2 months with Rebellion. The problem is with Rebellion, when we hit the point where the team decided to close off a lot of the other gaps, right? So they changed the ranked system, they changed the reward system, they got rid of like gladiators being able to be burned for DEC. Like all of that created a massive amount of DEC that flooded the system, and then obviously we had a bunch of other issues with the market not being in the way that it is now. So obviously, I think we have more tailwinds than headwinds this time around when it comes to just the broader crypto markets. But at this point, I would say I'm still heavily or watching very closely the amount of DEC that's out in the ecosystem. So overall, it's great that we've seen like the amount that players are holding go down about 300 million. Remember when this was like 1.2 billion, 1.1, 1.2 billion back in the day? Well, okay, so now players are holding less. The Dow has a lot more in it. DEC is holding its peg. So what's the last thing? How much does the team have? So I'm going to go here to the rich list, and I don't know that this has everything in it, and I know that there's a team thing as well, but if we just go here to what the Steam Monsters account is, and keep in mind, the Steam Monsters account is where we see stuff get thrown into, right? So 282 million DEC. Again, that's a significant amount that we would potentially have to eat through. And then if you go back out here to the main page, I believe this includes several other wallets, right? The company is holding 420 million. Nice for the number. But so there's still a lot of DEC out in the ecosystem. I think if the team is selling, they're probably doing it in a way, because we have seen them move some or reduce their amounts If they are selling, which they absolutely should be, right? I'm not trying to say that that's a bad thing. They're probably not going to push it below whatever it is right now, right? 96, 90, or 960, 950, and just allow the natural market to come in and buy more and eat up that demand. But if we get credits transactions, well, that's where DEC could get cycled back into the ecosystem. Now, there's two different things, right? If people bring in transact or credits to buy packs, that's great, right? Because then obviously the team gets to hold on to whatever DEC and they send more DEC to the DAO. If they come on to buy cards on the marketplace, and again, all of this is like good problems, so I'm not trying to like frame it as a bad thing, but like let's say all the market activity that we've had, which is significant, right? People are buying and selling cards all across the ecosystem, or just assets all across the ecosystem. If they come in to do that, then the team has to let go of that DEC. Let's say somebody brings in like $100 worth of credits. Somebody needs to let go of the 100,000 DEC or whatever it ends up being. I think it's 100,000 DEC. They would need to let go of that on the back ends of the credits transaction, right? So that comes back into the ecosystem, and then that seller, right, who sold whatever it was and was paid out in DEC. It depends on what they want to do with it. Maybe they go turn around and they buy more packs, right? Which is great because that locks up more DEC. Maybe they sell that DEC, putting downward pressure on the price, but somebody comes in and soaks it up. So we're in an interesting spot right now where I would say I'm watching this closely. We don't have the headwinds or hopefully the upcoming headwinds that we had when Rebellion was out, which essentially made us tank. Because again, keep in mind, we activated the flywheel with Rebellion. We got all the way up to like almost 4 cents. I think it was like 3.9 cents that we topped out at. And while there's more SPS today, it's not like significantly more, but there's definitely less DEC out there, or at least less DEC that's circulating. There might be more in general, but you can see that the DAO, at least according to the numbers that we have here, the DAO is sitting on 3 billion, over 3 billion, and we're showing 6.3 billion. So almost half of all DEC that's being calculated or tracked is sitting in the DAO right now. So as we move forward, this is something that I will be paying closer attention to, just because obviously if we stay close to PEG, that will be a positive sign, and we'll burn more SPS as we have been burning over the past couple of days, which is fantastic to see. But we don't want to get into a situation where either the team has to dump DEC or that DEC just starts circulating at the same time that pack sales slow down significantly. And that's one thing that we aren't really tracking right now. Hopefully Splinter Cards or another site can get this up in the same way that we had Rebellion, where we can see, roughly how many packs are being bought or how many packs have been bought, see what that volume is like. But, on the whole, I think we're doing pretty good for just about a week or so into the general sale. Obviously the pre-sale did quite well. Now we're into the general sale, and we'll see just how much momentum we can keep going. Again, if the broader crypto market continues to thrive and continues to push, you can see Bitcoin's at 105,000 right now. I think that will bode well for us for the rest of the year, and that's what I'm hoping is the case. If Splinterlands needs to go through any kind of like economic cleanup with DEC or SPS out there, that'll be something else that, we'll just have to do with whatever the broader market ends up, however the broader market ends up looking. But on the whole, I like the fact that we've cleaned up a lot of DEC out of the ecosystem. We've also cleaned up a lot of SPS that was out there and liquid. Now, obviously the SPS price is not moving in the way that it needs to, but keep in mind, there's a lot of DEC still out there that the team has that's circulating out, and it's not quite profitable at this point, right? People aren't arbitraging the SPS to DEC flywheel yet. Even though many are, it's not being done in a way where people are going out and buying tons of SPS off the marketplace. In fact, I think really it's going to be the team that drives that in the future. If players are just winning SPS, then what's great is that a lot of that SPS is not getting sold, so it's not pushing the price down significantly, as players will just convert that for DEC as long as DEC remains close to PEG. But, it's not going to push the price up either until we start to see massive amounts of buying. So just wanted to share a couple of those insights with you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.